Welcome to the ANEW Insight Podcast, empowering and inspiring your journey to optimal health. Hosted by Dr. Supatra Tovar, clinical psychologist, registered dietitian, fitness expert, and author of Deprogram Diet Culture. Rethink your relationship with food, heal your mind, and live a diet-free life. I follow my guests' journey to optimal health, providing you with the keys to unlock your own wellness path. Tune in and evolve with us. Welcome back. We are back for the second half of our interview with esteemed psychiatrist and neuroscientist, Dr. Helen Lavretsky. Dr. Lavretsky gave us some amazing insight into her extensive background, her research, and how breathwork dramatically changes our mental and physical health. We are learning so much. I know that there was a lot of science in the last episode. So if you need to go back and listen to it to understand it, go for it. But what we're going to focus on in this half is actually the practical application of breath work. So, Dr. Lavretsky, I would love for you to give us a few examples of some breath work exercises that people can start to employ. I know you went over a few of them during your talk at the APA conference. Give us an idea of some typical breathwork practices that people can look into.
Okay, so the easiest practice is just to ideally close your eyes. If you can't close your eyes, just count your breaths maybe, or just follow your breaths as the flow of air or oxygen going through your nostrils, passing into your lungs, expanding your diaphragm, expanding your belly. Just consciously notice the flow and outwards. And that alone, just putting an attention on your breath would slow it. If you want to more precisely control it, the easiest breath is 3-3-3-3 breaths. And that is 3-second inhale, 3-second hold, 3-second exhale, and 3-second hold. And I can take you through that. That would take you to 5 breaths per minute. So it would be 12 seconds per breathing cycle, inhale, exhale, with holding. The holding is important for activation of vagus nerve. So I usually, especially older patients, I just ask them to put a clock with the second hand and follow the second hand, 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds, or have a nice chime clock that tells you don't have to watch it, but it tells you to switch the breaths. But I can count. Do you want to practice? Like I would show you how I do it with patients, for instance.
Yes, please.
So close your eyes and I will count. Settle in your chair, feel grounded. That's another important component, especially if you're asking grounding. And the best way I found to do it is to imagine anchoring, sending an anchor from your tailbone to the center of the earth. And that kind of grounds you. Or if you're sitting on the ground, floor, or grass, just imagine being one or having roots that would connect you to the earth. And Mother Earth is what supports you. Your body is of the earth elements. And you could talk to the earth about feeding your needs, like healing you, exchanging nutrition and negative ions or whatever else makes you healthier. So that's an element of meditation that is absolutely necessary because we're so flighty now from all the anxiety and also electronic devices. Electronic devices and electromagnetic field really disrupts our connection to the earth. And because we live in urban areas, we're so devoid of connecting to nature or Mother Earth. So I send people to the beach to go barefoot. Or just imagine if you can't go anywhere, you're in a meeting, let's say, you're anchoring yourself, visualize dropping an anchor to the center of the earth first. Closing your eyes or not. And then I'm going to count. Inhale, 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 hold, hold, hold. Exhale, 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 hold, hold, hold. Inhale, 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 hold, hold, hold. Exhale, 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 hold, hold, hold. Inhale, 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 hold, hold, hold. Exhale, 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 hold, hold, hold. So, do you feel even 3 breaths kind of calms you down and you feel cooler? Like all the heat
Yes.
of anxiety and stress goes away.
Yes. That's called the three,
That's a
three,
box
three.
breathing, three breaths.
Okay, I love this. And what is the minimum time that you recommend somebody participate in this or really any breath work session?
So, if you're in a stressful situation, you must control your emotions immediately. Even like the 3 breaths would reset you, or 1 breath, intentional, to reset. I need to take this breath to slow down. But ideally, 10 minutes a day. Sort of, we're coming to the same conclusion that in order to sustain the effects of practice, you have to do it for a minimum of 10 minutes at a time.
Mhm.
You could split it during the day. Um, and, like, for example, aerobic exercise has the same kind of finding where you need 10 minutes to achieve a sustainable effect, but overall recommended 30 minutes a day. And then you could practice 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and still have that benefit. Similar comes to meditation or breath. But even if you do it 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, it would be effective in the moment. It's just to have a sustained effect on the system, entire body. It requires a little bit longer. Caregivers are very busy people. We couldn't do yoga class with them or any kind of class, but they committed to 11-minute meditation per day. Sometimes it
Mhm.
required closing themselves in the bathroom from their family members who would just follow them around.
Oh,
And
yes.
they don't have the space that they need. So they go to the bathroom for 10 minutes and do that. Same applies to many other scenarios, like having small children or whatever.
I heard it just takes a few minutes. Is it 10 minutes to activate the vagus
Mhm.
nerve?
No, no, it would be activated. It's just whatever we have studied, the minimum duration of that practice is around 10 minutes, or either mindfulness or breath breathing, like we, but the effect will be there. It's like the automatic effect. That's how your body functions evolutionally. If you step back, take 1 or 3 breaths, you will be in better space if not, than when you're not doing it, especially if it's habitual. If it becomes your tool and you will come down after taking 3 breaths, that's what you do, or even 1 breath. 5 minutes is fine, 3 minutes is fine. But what we have studied is 10 minutes.
I love that. And just so you know too,
Mm.
I've learned this as well, and I think that this is so important for caregivers since we're talking about caregivers. When we are seeing people who are distressed, we actually, we have these things called mirror neurons, and we can either pick up their stress or we can help them calm down in their stress just by our breathing. I do this a lot in session where if somebody's really distressed, I consciously start to control my breathing
Oh,
and just breathe slowly. And what I see in my clients is they start to calm down and their breathing slows as well. So, caregivers out there, you can try to help control, say it's a, kid who's, in distress or, older parent that you're trying to help just by calming down your breath. I really love this. So that's box breathing. And the recommendation is around 10 minutes practice every day, but you can also just do it in the moment, even if it's for a short period of time to calm yourself down. I love this, Dr. Lavretsky. So, can you give us maybe some of the more
yeah.
Eastern?
let me just suggest another common, very popular breath, 4-7-8. When you inhale for 4 minutes, 7 hold, and 8 exhale. Longer exhale would more readily activate vagal nerve. So it's controlling diaphragm, holding, and then slowly exhaling. That's what. So the vagal nerve is connected to the diaphragm and regulates the. So it's like both ways. By
Yes.
controlling the motion, you also activate vagal nerve.
Yes, and I've heard that the army uses that technique to help them try to go to bed quickly, especially if they're out in the field and they need to get, rest immediately. They employ that breathing technique. I also like I have a 4-6 technique. It's the important thing is to have the exhale longer than your inhale, breathing in for 4, holding for about 5, and then exhaling out for 6. That works really well for me as well. So if you could give us some of the Eastern
Yeah.
breathing
So
techniques that you have learned as well, we would love to learn these with you.
right. So the breath of fire is a technique that is present in numerous yoga practices. It's the opposite of calming breath. It's actually activating breath. So it gives you more energy. It is a lot of hyperventilation, so you wouldn't do it when people are overly anxious or sensitive to fainting and hyperventilation. So you it's about volitional control, and it's the opposite of diaphragmatic breathing, where it's more passive and you expand your diaphragm into your belly and the belly expands. Here, it's the opposite. You're actually pumping the belly about 2 to 3 movements per second. So it's a very rapid hyperventilating breath. I'm taught to extend on my arms because this is actually a working energetic body and covers your aura. It opens also meridians, but you don't have to do that. You could sit in a yoga pose with Gyan Mudra, which is common in meditative practices, on your knees and activate it through your nose. Most commonly, we're doing it through our nose. I'll do this version and inhale and pump your belly. So you might notice that you're activating, you're becoming more, blood rushes up.
Yes.
You're becoming more energetic. It's like drinking coffee without drinking coffee. You're hyperventilating, so you're infusing oxygens to your body, into your brain, and you're ready to go after that. That's the breath to start in the morning. It's also highly detoxifying. When you have to detox, you would do something like this. In order to enhance detoxification effect of this breath, you might open your mouth and do it through your mouth with tongue open. So this is very intense. But the tongue is like this. So it's like dog, planting dog, you
Yes.
talk so,
My dog is looking at me right now like, what's going on, Ma?
yeah. So to cool down, the opposite of this is Sitali pranayama, where you curl your tongue like you did, and you breathe through it slowly and deeply, expanding your lungs completely and filling them up with air and oxygen as a straw. So this represents a resistance surf. So you have to force your breath. So let's just try to breathe with that, and you'll
Okay.
see the cooling effect.
Okay.
You could exhale through your tongue or through your nose.
Wow.
So I give it to women, menopausal women with hot flashes, or if you're in the middle of a fire and or hot weather, this is something that would cool you down.
Wow, why does it cool you down? Why does
Well,
curling the
partly it's the
tongue.
tongue and putting the breathing through the tongue. It's like moisture and wind. When it dries up your tongue, that is a cooling effect of this. But also
Wow.
sending the oxygen, like loading you up with a lot of oxygen and through your tongue and moisture of your mouth, and has this cooling effect.
So does it stop a hot flash?
It really, if you commit to it, yes, it could. If you do it long enough for 3 to 5 minutes, you can get a brain freeze like you get from Slurpees.
Wow. Well, it certainly was exceptionally calming. Like,
Yes.
I feel much more grounded just after a couple of those breaths.
Hmm.
And that's called
Sitali pranayam. Um,
Sitali pranayam.
so not everybody is capable of curling their tongues. It's about 1/3 of people who can do this. It's
Mhm.
like a straw effect. You're breathing through a straw. So the version of it for those who can't curl your tongues is through your teeth, breathing through your teeth. Breathing has the same kind of cooling effect, right? And the last breath I'd like to introduce that is a really funny breath called frog breath. And it's essentially you imitate frogs, but here we're using mudras with your eyes. So normally in yoga practices, you focus eyes on something. They're usually closed, focused here, here, or here, which would change activation or opening of the brain. In this particular breath, pranayam practice, you look to the infinity, to the horizon, and straight up, and you focus on horizon, and then you inhale, and you imitate the frog, like also purse your, yeah, more like forced exhale, make a sound like
Wow.
you do this. Do you feel
Wow.
like you're breaking any kind of depression or negative? When you do it in the group, people start laughing, because it's kind of a funny sounds and funny breath. When you do it with children, you could teach children that. I teach my granddaughters to stop crying or demanding something by resorting to this frog breath. And it's
Oh
very
my
entertaining.
goodness.
You're a little frog, you're running around and you start doing frog breath.
Well, I tell you, I felt just immediately like my body was melting.
Mhm. Really is.
Like every muscle just relaxed
Mhm.
just by doing 4 or 5 of those breaths.
Mhm.
But that's an instant depression reliever, instant anxiety reliever.
Sadness, take it
Wow.
out of your body. It does have a release. The one thing that I also has a release is a shoulder shrug, and you could combine it with your breath. Inhale and shrug. So during your working day or when you're stressed, this is like the easy release.
Oh, I love this. Now, we haven't really touched too much on stored trauma in the body. I work a lot with trauma survivors. Can you tell us how breath work like this and which breathwork technique can help to release that stored trauma for trauma survivors?
So the story with trauma, dealing with trauma and working with trauma, you don't want to overwhelm the body necessarily or flood it with traumatic visions, flashbacks. So you approach this carefully,
Mm.
according to everybody's tolerance. The easiest thing to do is relax them physically, like they're lying on or reclining in the chair, grounding, anchoring to the center of the earth, feeling being supported, and starting to breathe normally, but also asking the breath to go to the places in their body that are tense or painful. So I ask people to relax, ground, and then start breathing through their chest, heart center, chest center. Send several breaths through the chest center. Let me give you one other thing to do. And imagine yourself being inside of a solar disk sphere lit up with golden liquid light. So your entire body is supported by this disk, nourished, cherished, loved, and gets you ready on this journey of releasing your trauma. So that's a nourishing, supportive environment. You feel safe in there and protected. You could imagine another sphere in your heart, and this outer sphere and your heart are supported and guided by this golden light. It's very healing. But you are sending breaths through all of this. And then you send golden light and this breath and prana and oxygen to all places in your body from the top down, layer by layer, part by part, to relax each cell, each particle of your beingness into this golden light in your breath. Let's try a few breaths to send to your tense parts. Anything in pain, tense, stressed out. Feel nourished and supported and safe, grounded. And only in this space can you talk about traumatic events and send this healing energy, your breath, to those events. It requires a lot of forgiveness for yourself and others to release those events. Unless you forgive them and recognize their significance in your growth, your evolution of your personal evolution, those are events you are learning from. This is the information. And now you're ready to let it go completely, deeply, permanently. And with the breath, release all of it.
Wow. That is so powerful.
Very.
So just allowing them to slow down, breathe, surrounding themselves with that golden disk of light, finding where the pain lies in their body, using forgiveness of self and others, allowing the light to go into that part of the body and then releasing it. Wow. Dr. Lavretsky, I think you've given us some amazing tools. Can you tell us how this type of breath work can enhance traditional psychiatric treatment, especially for those with anxiety, depression, trauma, PTSD?
Well, so those who have all those symptoms have gone through every medication known to man and gained some benefit. Hopefully, some got better all the way or significantly better. But these existing treatments have really limited efficacy. When we talk about depression efficacy, it's about 30% remission rate for a single drug. Then you have to add drugs or combine drugs or switch to another drug or other. So the currently available treatments have limited efficacy. And they're not empowering. So these practices, you're doing it yourself. You're grounded, you are using your own breath, you are empowered by your higher self, you are empowered to release this trauma. Nobody else is doing it for you, drug or machine or whatever, or another person. It's you. So you are in your power to chart your own destiny and release your trauma. Trauma is simply an information that was useful at the time when it occurred for you to learn from and grow from. And always have it. So, and some deal with this more, some are more resilient, and some are found this identity that is attached to trauma and don't have tools. So breaths and these practices are the tools that you need to release trauma and empower yourself.
I love this so much. I tell every client who comes in my door that by the end of treatment, I hope that they're their own best expert. And I really do think that we have gone into an age where we don't trust ourselves, we don't trust our bodies, we don't listen. We listen outwardly. We're trying to find the expert who will cure us of this, and this. And I do think that if more people listened, used that interoception, and really like tuned in, their body tells them everything. It tells you when you're hungry, it tells you when you're tired, it tells you when you need to have somebody listen to you or hug you. And when we tap into our breathing and learn how to calm our bodies down, then our bodies work in conjunction with us. It doesn't work against us. You have given us some amazing, powerful tools, Dr. Lavretsky. That's why I want to do on this podcast. I have goosebumps because I'm just so excited by what we've just learned. Can you tell people how they can work with you, how they can find your research?
Well,
What
I
are all
wrote a book. It's going to be published. It's called Soulful. And this is about bringing back soul into mental health. And psychiatry and psychology, this is something that we don't approach, right? And it's becoming so important nowadays because it's the soul, your higher self, that knows everything about you, including the role of trauma in your life. And it can inform you and guide you to release this. So the wisdom is inside you, it's your soul.
I love this. When does this book come out? When can we
Sometime
read
in
this?
2026, it's going through edits, and I'm still working with the publishing company. So I will be doing workshops once I release the book. Based on it, it's written as an outline for workshops to teach people skills. But what I showed you, especially with the golden light, is a portion of what I do with patients. And besides them, what I've shown you, I also ask them to speak to their soul. It's the soul listening exercise.
Oh, Dr. Lavretsky, I love this. And we will have all of her links. You can find her at UCLA. She is just a preeminent psychiatrist and neuroscientist. And we're just so blessed and so lucky to have you on the program today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for inviting me in. It's been a delight. Thank you.
Oh, and thank you everyone for tuning into the New Insight podcast. I really hope you took away some valuable tools. You realized that you are your own best expert, that you are empowered to release your trauma, to release your stress, and to have a little bit more control over this. We do not have to be dictated by our anxiety producing world. We can create peace, calm, and quiet inwardly if we just learn how to tune in. And Dr. Lavretsky helped us with that. So join us next time. And thanks again, Dr. Lavretsky.
You're welcome.
Thanks for tuning into the ANEW Insight podcast. Please remember the contents shared on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. You can find us anywhere podcasts are streaming, on YouTube at my.anew.insight and at anew-insight.com under the ANEW Insight podcast tab. And follow us on our socials at my.anew.insight on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more updates. Tune in next time